Hi, everyone. Hi, and welcome to More Than a Dose podcast, where we unpack the world of marketing and ethics. My name is Anita, but you can call me Neets. I'll be your host for today, and we'll be diving into a very controversial topic of how these companies actually seduce us into buying beautifully designed harmful products. I mean, think cigarettes, vapes, alcohol, ultra processed foods like fast food and cereals, and even those energy drinks that promise to keep you going. And who better to unpack this very juicy topic with me than my fabulous co-host Debbie? Hi, Debbie.
Hi, I'm Debbie, the co-host, who has definitely fallen for at least one or too many of those products. And with us here, we have two of our teammates, Iris
Hi everyone.
and Marvis.
Hey guys.
Marvis will also be in the comment section looking out for questions, comments that you may have to ask. And together, we'll be exposing the tricks behind these tempting buys. That's where the brands, draw the line between profit making and subjects like social responsibility and consumer health.
I mean, so here's the thing, guys. Have you ever wondered why you just sit down and you're craving Coca-Cola or Pepsi when you literally have water in front of you? Or sometimes you just feel very drawn to buy that cute little vape that smells like your favorite fruit. I don't know why Debbie is giving me this side eye. I'm guilty of buying vapes, but yeah, I feel like these things are not just by chance. I feel like I have been seduced to actually purchase these products. So yeah, stay tuned and watch as we reveal how these brands pull off these campaigns and why we feel like the ethics in marketing as an issue is very important. So Debbie, I mean, why do you think that these companies actually market harmful products?
So I feel like it comes down to marketing ethics, right? Or sometimes the lack of it, to be honest. And the father of marketing, Philip Kotler, has said that marketing is about creating value for consumers while also ensuring that the goal of the acquisition is actually met. But then when profit clashes with social responsibility and even consumer health, things can get tricky, and that's where I feel the ethical line, can get blurry.
I mean, I totally agree. I agree with you completely. I feel like these companies actually know that these products can be risky or harmful. However, they use these very psychological tactics to make them seem almost irresistible. Take FOMO, fear of missing out, as a candid example. I have worked with a number of global alcoholic beverage brands, and typically, when I receive briefs, the briefs always revolve around creating advertisements that initiate FOMO in young consumers, right? And when you see these ads, they are always tied to glamorous parties, making you feel like maybe you're not living the life or you're not having fun unless you're drinking those products. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you see these very aesthetically pleasing looking vape designs that are very sleek, very colorful. They almost come off looking as like a fashion accessory that you need to have. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, actually I agree. And it's not just about product design, right? So circling back to the four P's of marketing, I mean all companies use this to advertise their products, even if it's harmful. Even if it's harmful in quotes or not harmful. So circling back to vapes, I mean you have the sleek designs like you said, right? So that's the product. You have affordable prices. You'll be surprised at how inexpensive some of these vapes are. You also have vending machines. I mean, here in Malta, close to school, if I'm not mistaken, there's a vending machine that actually sells vape. You speaks to place,
Mhm.
right? And then you have the emotional telling emotional storytelling that is being used to promote the ads. That's the last P. And on the issue of storytelling, last week I was watching the FIFA Club World Cup over the weekend, and I saw this ad by Heineken that had a couple of influencers. It had Joe Jonas and it had Jude and that's that guy on Instagram that holds messages holding a placard.
Oh yeah, I've seen a couple of his posts on the brand.
Yeah. So the thing is, like Anita said, right? Brands have moved beyond, shoving their products into the faces of consumers or their offerings, but now they're selling a feeling, they're selling a vibe, so to speak. And in addition to that, I was reading a journal where the importance and the use of colors in marketing communication actually plays a very significant role. And I can tell you for free that these colors, be it as it may, actually ignite hunger and cravings as well. So, for instance, colors like black, thinking Guinness, for example, right? It's associated with sophistication, elegance. Yellow, freedom, leadership. You have McDonald's. Red, passion, energy, fire. Thinking Red Bull, thinking hell energy drink.
Why would someone want to drink? Why would someone want hell energy drink, please?
I have no idea. And then the list goes on and on and on. And it's just evident that colors actually play a role in advertising these harmful products.
That's crazy. It's almost like our brains are hacked.
Did you just say hacked? I mean, I feel like these brands actually listen to our conversations at this point because really though, jokes aside, yeah, let's be honest, these companies are very big businesses which rake in millions in USD, euros, whatever, if not even billions yearly. But at what cost? We're talking health risks, we're talking addictions, we're talking environmental harms. Let's zoom into one example, ultra processed foods, and how these people actually get us hooked by starting with something as simple as a trip down the cereal aisle. I mean, think of it, even as a child or even as an adult, I still take cereal, right? Walking down that cereal aisle and just spotting that very bright, shiny box of cartoon character cereal with the colorful packaging, that's not by accident, right? I feel like it's carefully designed to grab your attention, to ignite those cravings and make you want more. I'm sure people in our audience can actually relate to this as well.
I actually agree with that. Sometime last week I went shopping for household items and I found myself. We all know when you go to the supermarket to spend 10 euros, you end
Oh
up
my
spending
gosh.
30 euros. So I found myself like on the cereal aisle and I saw this cute cereal box. Unfortunately, I can't mention them because there are no free ads on this podcast. And the urge to buy that box was instant. So the thing is, ultra processed foods are hyper palatable, right? So they are pleasurable to eat and they're easy to consume. Why? Due to a combination of sugar, fat, sodium, and carbohydrates. And I feel like all brands have the same playbook, really. They're designing their products to cook you fast.
Girl, you see that hook? That hook, unfortunately, comes at a cost. What exactly would you say is the health impact of consuming this hyper palatable food on a daily basis? Because take for instance, someone like me, I can consume cereal almost every day, every morning.
Wow, I used to be like that, but I've stopped. I've stopped. But the thing is, so studies have shown that a daily consumption of this type of food has been linked to obesity. Now, on the issue of obesity, it's a very sensitive subject. But I think some of us would have watched 1,000 Pound Life on TLC.
Yep.
And then you see that this program actually it shows you the underlying effect of eating things like this. Diabetes has also been linked to stuff like eating this type of foods. And there's this cereal that with this really nice mascot, and I won't mention the name again. And this cereal has the amount of sugar in that cereal is insane. Heart diseases have also been linked to a side effect of consuming this product constantly. Exactly. And the thing is, these products actually mess with your brain, right? They make you want more. And the sad thing is, kids are more vulnerable because of these cartoon mascots that are being used. So parents need to step in and actually, provide these things for their kids in moderation.
That's not nice at all. So you mean companies know this and yet they keep pushing for the products anyway?
Yeah, unfortunately, profit over people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know, right? I'm not just thinking cereals, but also talking like fast food, sodas, and even energy drinks that promise to, ignite the fire within you, keep you going. I don't know why I need an energy drink to keep me going. But yeah, so diving into another corporate in the world of seductive marketing. Energy drinks. Iris, what's going on there?
So yeah, no problem, baby. So in energy drinks, we know of Red Bull, Monster, which have become like cultural icons and they are widely consumed mostly by athletes and professionals.
Yeah.
They seek to get a quick boost of energy. So the strategies of their adverts are usually flashy, adrenaline filled, and lifestyle oriented.
Yeah, and in addition to Red Bull and Monster, you also have this Prime Energy drink by Logan Paul and KSI.
Yep, I know that one.
And I don't think it's fair because these guys are actually like YouTube icons for teenagers, particularly boys. So what are brands doing, advertising this, using these people to advertise their products?
Exactly, that's why it gets tricky. These brands blur the line between manipulation and entertainment. So they make these kids think that they need this product in order to fit in. So they pose very serious health risks such as anxiety, health palpitations, and long-term heart issues from caffeine and sugar.
So I mean, you have slogans like "Red Bull gives you wings," and what's that thing you do with Red Bull?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Exactly. So I mean, you hear things like that, right? And it makes you think like, I mean, you're unstoppable. But I mean, wouldn't you say they are actually hiding these risks?
Yeah, those catchy phrases imply that you'll crush it mentally, physically, but they're actually misleading. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, a single can of Monster Energy drink contains over 50 grams of sugar, which is
Ouch.
way past the daily limit of sugar. And guess what? The brands are not going to mention.
Why would they mention
their
it?
ad.
Why would they
are
mention
doing
it?
And see, it even goes beyond that. I mean, have you seen what their ads look like? You're literally seeing someone jumping off a cliff or a motocross screaming, daring once you consume this product. But I mean, I really feel like it just breeds recklessness.
Right. It's actually normalizing an healthy habit in a world already dealing with obesity, mental health struggles, and these companies know the risk, but they bank on the cool factor in order to keep their sales soaring.
Yeah. Thanks, Iris, on those insightful, information that we got. So over to you, Anita, on a very, very serious global issue: vaping and cigarettes. What's up with that?
Debbie, I don't like the way you look at me when you mention vaping, but okay. Oh my god. Okay, so let's talk vapes. Let's talk vapes. I'm specifically going to speak about Juul. I feel like Juul is the poster child of seductive marketing, right? Juul as a product took over 75% of the US pod vape market between 2015 and 2018. And they had this very slick social media campaign. They had a lot of influencer tie-ins. They had a lot of youth-oriented launch parties, and their USB design, sleek, very concealable products blended seamlessly into the average teenager's lifestyle. Do you get what I mean? So it was very easy for teenagers to vape in school. It was very easy for teenagers to vape almost everywhere, literally everywhere. And then let's speak about the flavors. You had them in mango flavors, which is like my favorite actually. Mango. And then you also had like mint flavors. And then you also have candy. And then I'm wondering, why do we have candy flavored vapes? Because I feel like this has been designed to hook children, kids actually, and not just adult smokers. So studies basically show that when you have vapes in fruity flavors, it makes teenagers way more likely to actually try the vaping culture.
That's really messed up. With that. So you mean targeting kids with bright colors and dessert flavors? So the other day, I saw Joe live trend on social media, and what I thought, it just feels like they are trying to make addiction cool.
Exactly, Marvis. I mean, they use color psychology, just like Debbie had mentioned earlier. Red for excitement. You have the pastel colors that depict softness and just help us soft, exactly, soft girl, and just drives you to make an impulsive purchase. Do you get, just like your fast food? And you see that Jewel also had like early advertisements with like crop top models and beach vibes, and they were calling it, patently, in quotes, patently youth oriented. I mean, that's just sick if you ask me.
So they knew they were cooking.
Yep, of course they knew they were cooking teenagers. And another thing that I also discovered, I mean, during my research, was that a lot of Jules campaigns actually leaned very hard into Instagram and TikTok micro influencers. So what they did was that they were able to find a very good balance, blending adverts with authentic lifestyle, in quotes, authentic lifestyle content. So you saw a lot of teenagers experimenting with like daily nicotine use, and then there's this fast vaping rewiring thing that goes on with their brains that makes them crave vaping on a daily basis. And you see that some of these teenagers even moved into cigarettes, despite the, in quote, harmful reduction claims by the brands.
So my question is, Anita, did they face any pushbacks at all?
Of course, big time. In the US, you have the FDA. They launched a campaign tagged "The Real Cost," And this campaign's focus was on educating young people about the negative health effects and risk of vaping and smoking. And surprisingly, during my research, I also found out that this campaign actually prevented up to about 587,000 youths between the ages of 11 to 19 from initiating smoking between February 2014 and November 2016. So you see that Jewel actually pulled down a lot of these their flavored pods, and the school programs were also discontinued, but under a lot of pressure. Keyword being pressure, meaning that if they didn't receive pressure from the public, they probably wouldn't have pulled this exactly. So I personally say, and critics also agree, that the damage was done already. I mean, this damage was done. But we can see these days that a lot of countries globally, generally places like the UK, there has been a ban when it comes to youth appealing flavors and adverts towards teenagers as well.
So again, it is profit over public health.
Absolutely.
Guys, you know what? Let's check the comment section to see what people are saying.
Okay, so Marvis.
We're back. So Moyosore Olua says, yes, color is an integral part of marketing. I wouldn't buy a mud brown packaged noodles or cereal. I would.
You see what I'm saying.
There's no way I'm
You
buying
see what
that.
I'm saying.
So even Precious is saying, even me, I'm vulnerable to cartoon mascots. If
Oh my
Precious
God.
can be vulnerable, what about kids?
I mean, that's just
Yeah.
crazy.
So, well, there are no questions. Guys, keep the questions coming. Mm. Okay, so Chika says, it's what happens when profit is prioritized over people's health and safety. Debbie, what do you have to say about that?
So I feel like transparency is key, right? To be honest, that's a way to deal with that. Yes, cigarette brands already sort of address that, but brands need to be upfront about the health risks and not hide them behind maybe small prints or behind flashy slogans.
Okay, so Precious said, what's your opinion on how we can control this unethical marketing?
I mean, when it comes to unethical marketing, I believe that brands play a very big role internally. Brands need to look inward and actually set out values for themselves and say that, oh, we wouldn't want to put this out if this is potentially harmful to our consumers or our audience. Actually,
But then again, I have a question about digital spaces because how do you manage that? You have brands that thrive on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and I feel like for platforms like this, maybe we actually need to hold them more accountable to stop advertising some of these products to consumers.
so again, I mean, if we speak about policy enforcement, we need governmental bodies to start creating and actually enforcing stronger marketing restrictions, right? You see some countries like the UK have already started this, and I feel like other countries actually need to follow suit. Yeah. And beyond this regulation, we as consumers also have the power. I mean, the decision starts with you. Think media literacy, teaching people, especially our teenagers, to recognize persuasive design and also question the intention behind these adverts. I always say that once you see the manipulation, you definitely cannot unsee it. I mean, at the end of the day, marketing is powerful. It can manipulate, but it can also motivate change. And if companies can sell a dream with sugar, caffeine, and nicotine, I mean, they can also sell better choices with just as much creativity. So let's demand better from brands, regulator, and even ourselves because it really starts with us.
Wow, what a ride today has been. Massive thanks to Iris and Mavis for those sharp insights.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having us, guys.
And thank you to our amazing listeners for tuning in to More Than a Dose. And if today's episode got you thinking or even ranting, I mean, hit us up in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going.
And don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe for more deep dives into the messy but fascinating world of marketing and ethics.
Yeah, and that's it, guys. Until next time, remember, not everything beautifully packaged is good for you. So stay curious, stay critical, And please don't fall for the design. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Ciao.
Bye.
Au revoir.